Spokane County has approved new laws that lift a ban on e-bikes at county-owned recreation sites. What we know coming up. An arrest has been made for the murder of a 77-year-old woman in Coeur d'Alene last September. Where they arrested the suspect and how they caught him tonight.
After a week that brought plenty of active weather, we're looking at a break for this weekend, how warm it could get.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We start at this hour with some breaking news. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office just released information regarding an hours-long SWAT standoff near South Glen Rose Road on Spokane South Hill. The suspect has been arrested and is expected to be booked into the Spokane County Jail this evening. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy bringing us the latest details on the suspect and what unfolded today. Connor?
Yeah, Mark, for the past several hours, Washington State Department of Correction officers with aid from the Spokane County Sheriff's Office have been trying to get 52-year-old Jeremy Bosch out of his home after barricading himself inside. Spokane SWAT team members deployed chemical irritants inside the home. They were able to get him to surrender and be taken into custody about an hour ago. Now, this all started at about noon. Deputies and DOC officers came to the home near South Glen Rose Avenue with a warrant for Bosch's arrest. Deputies say he refused to answer his door and barricaded himself inside. The Spokane SWAT team, as well as a behavioral health unit and crisis negotiators, later arrived to assist the situation. Deputies called on Bosch several times to surrender during the standoff. As he remained uncooperative, SWAT team members deployed chemical irritants inside the home later in the afternoon. At around 4 p.m., negotiators coaxed Bosch into a peaceful surrender, and SWAT team members took him into custody without any further incident. This isn't the first time a situation like this has happened with Bosch. In April of 2023, Bosch shot at detectives when they attempted to arrest him at the same house for assault, robbery, and unlawful imprisonment charges from domestic violence incidents. Detectives fired back, hitting Bosch, who later barricaded himself inside his home. SWAT team members deployed chemical irritants then as well. Eventually, Bosch was arrested, and in May of 2024, he was sentenced to the mental health sentencing alternative after pleading guilty. Now, for this incident today, Bosch is expected to be booked in the Spokane County Jail later this evening on the Washington State DOC warrant with an original charge of assault in the second degree with a deadly weapon. In the newsroom, Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
All right, Connor, thank you. Meantime, U.S. Marshals arrested a man accused of killing his elderly mother in Coeur d'Alene back in September. And that arrest happened as the man, deputies say, was about to board a plane for China. KREM 2's Christian Garza reports from Coeur d'Alene tonight with what neighbors are saying about the arrest.
Tonight, neighbors near Skyline Drive tell me they're feeling a sense of relief, which is something they haven't felt in close to 7 months since this murder happened. In September of last year, Coeur d'Alene officers showed up to a house on the 1100 block of Skyline Drive after it was reported that an elderly woman was attacked while in bed. That woman has been identified as 77-year-old Susan Stratton. She was rushed to the hospital but never regained consciousness. She died in hospice care just over 2 weeks later. Today, her 52-year-old son Neil Stratton has been arrested and is being charged with first-degree murder, burglary, and felony destruction of evidence. I had the chance to speak with Michael Frederick, who has lived here in the area for the last 8 years. He says there has been a shift in the neighborhood since this incident.
I'd say it has changed marginally because we're in Idaho where people kind of fend for their own safety. But all of a sudden now that wasn't enough.
Stratton was arrested near Los Angeles this morning. Detectives say they learned he was preparing to get on a flight to China. At this time, Stratton is awaiting extradition back to Coeur d'Alene. We reached out to police to see what that timeline looks like, but didn't get a response. In Coeur d'Alene, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
In other news tonight, the general manager of Coeur d'Alene's Wolf Lodge Steakhouse that burned down 18 months ago says construction could begin within 2 months. If you remember, that iconic restaurant was destroyed in an accidental fire around Labor Day back in 2024. What you're looking at on your screen right now is video from the aftermath of that fire. Our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press spoke with the general manager who told them while nothing is set in stone, they do hope to rebuild. And if they do move forward, they hope to open sometime next year. After 4 years as fire chief and 29 years with the department, Coeur d'Alene Fire Chief Tom Greif is retiring today. Greif told KREM 2 back in November that he is stepping down because it's time to focus on himself, his health, and his family. Greif released a goodbye message to Coeur d'Alene that reads in part, quote, "I'm not stepping away from this community. Thank you, Coeur d'Alene, for nearly 3 decades of trust, partnership, and shared values." John Fugit will take over as the fire chief in May. All right, let's talk the weather on this Friday evening with meteorologist Cody Proctor joining us live from the Outdoor Weather Center, where, Cody, things are getting a little nicer weather-wise.
A little bit nicer as we head into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday should put us into great shape as we head into Monday, where we could see some of our warmest temperatures. But as we check in with this evening, it's still a little cool outside, feeling it as that wind picked up just a moment there. We're at 51 degrees right now at the Spokane Airport. Winds are coming out the south-southwest at 9 miles per hour around our region. You can see we're still in the mid-40s for Sandpoint at this time. 60 degrees at Moses Lake, where they're seeing clear skies. Same for Wenatchee. We still have more of that cloud coverage for here around our neck of the woods. As we check in around our area, our current wind speeds relatively calm to light at this moment, but still a little breezy or light breezes, and that is making it feel maybe just a little cooler outside in the Outdoor Weather Center. The next few days, we're looking at this ridge of high pressure continuing to build up for us. You can kind of see some of that movement coming in right there, and that's going to continue to warm us up. But we still have one more morning at least of cold temperatures. We could see our temperatures down tomorrow morning around the 5 o'clock hour into the low 30s. So just be prepared for that. But however, our highs for tomorrow could actually get back up into the low 60s for our forecast, and we can continue to warm up into Sunday and into Monday. How long this warm up could last, I'll have that coming up in your full forecast.
It's giving access, and it's also respecting the areas.
E-bike users now have more trail options in Spokane County after commissioners lifted a longtime ban. We'll share why not all e-bikes make the cut, though. And there's a way for some immigrant families to get legal U.S. status via military connections. Later, we hear from a family who watched their father become a permanent U.S. resident. We are back in just 3 minutes.